Hello, thanks for tuning in. It's Stuart, Classical Record Collector here. My website, lpclassical.co.uk, where I'm selling records. Now, I've been to some charity shops today. I've been on this topic before where some charity shops imagine that, I don't know, suddenly because there's a vinyl boom or perceived vinyl boom, there are vinyl shops popping up everywhere, so it seems that they can somehow cash in on this. Personally, I think they couldn't be more wrong. But just to illustrate what is actually happening in some shops, I went into a shop today and I was really quite shocked to see some of the pricings. Let me just give you some examples. Now, I did suspect that this may be the case because when I walked in, I saw, I don't know, maybe two rows of records, and the one at the front was a Michael Jackson record, and it was £10 or something like that. Well, first of all, I must say I was delighted to see a Michael Jackson record in a charity shop, which I've never seen before. So that was fabulous. Okay, they're trying to get £10 for it, which is probably a fair price. But I wondered whether they would be doing the same with classical records. So I started going through, and sure enough, here's some of what I found. Okay, so anyway, here's the first one. If you look here, Holst the Planets, Halle Orchestra, conductor James Loughran, and that is a Classics for Pleasure. It's a record that if I was feeling really sort of cheerful, I might pay £1 for it, and if it was in really good condition, I might buy it because I haven't got that one in my collection, but I've got several versions of the Planets. I don't really need another one, but for £1 I might take it. It's been priced up at £4, which I think is way over the top. If you go to somewhere like Discogs, you'll see that dozens of sellers have got that record for like £1, £2. So, okay, so moving on to the next one. We've got an LXT, a Decca 1950s pressed mono record, Tchaikovsky's Piano Concerto with Clifford Curzon. They're asking £4 for that. I suspect it's in poor condition because those old paper jacket LXTs are virtually always in poor condition, mainly because, well, first of all, they're so old, and secondly, in the 50s when these came out, the mono styluses and equipment that they were using, the tracking weights were really high, and they didn't really have much else. So consequently, a lot of those LXTs are in poor condition, groove damaged. So yeah, £4 for that. Again, I wouldn't buy that for anything, honestly, nothing at all. And if they want to sell that record, I don't think it's ever going to fetch £4. You know what I might do? In a month's time, I might go back into that shop and see if those three records are still there. I'm fairly sure they will be. So, okay, that's the Clifford Curzon for £4. But the biggest howler of all is this one, Mozart. It's a budget label. I'm not too sure which budget label it is. It's an ultra budget label. It's not even something like Classics for Pleasure. It's probably Contour or something like. Actually, Contours are okay. This one looked to me like it was something even below a Contour, and they're asking £10 for it, which is absolutely laughable. I don't know where they got that price. It's possible that they were sitting on eBay. They typed in this piece, and it may well be that there's somebody out there on eBay trying to sell it for £10, but they'll never get it. So, yeah, that's not going to sell either. That's not really. These should all be £1. If these charity shops want to clear them out of the way, that's the kind of price. There's no demand for these records, and it wouldn't surprise me if I go back in a month and find that all three of those are still there. Okay, however, I did visit other charity shops and found some good prices. So let's just go through some of the other records that I bought. And I hope that you'll get some interest out of seeing what I bought because, as you know, I try to buy interesting items if I can. You'll never see me buying SAX blue silvers and wideband SXLs because you just never see those in charity shops. And I'm not in the big money game where I'm going to pay hundreds of pounds for records. I try to get records as cheaply as possible in really good condition and interesting as well. And you can do it if you look and you're determined. You can find good, interesting records. So here we are. We've got this record here, which is Thea King on Hyperion, playing Mozart's Clarinet Concerto, the Sublime Clarinet Concerto. If you're new to classical music, that's one you should know. And the Clarinet Quintet, one of the great chamber works, magnificent work, really fabulous record this. Thea King, it's a digital Hyperion. I got that for £1. Really happy with that. Next one. These didn't all come from the same shop. I visited about 5 shops and I think I bought records from 2 of them. So okay, here we go. Next one is Julian Lloyd Webber playing the solo part in Elgar's Cello Concerto. And also on this record is the magnificent Enigma Variations, Elgar's arguably 2 greatest works on one record. It's actually a really good pairing. I recommend this record. Menuhin doesn't often appear on Philips, so he's migrated over from HMV to Philips. That makes it quite an unusual record as well. He's conducting, not playing. So that's a digital, Philips digital. I got that for £1. Right, next one. I really like this record. It's one of my favorite Argos. It's Neville Marriner conducting Mozart, Symphonies number 29 and 25, the 2 finest early symphonies of Mozart. And I really recommend this pairing. 29, the lyrical, beautiful A major symphony, 4 movements, contrasting with the turbulent, sort of troubled music of the G minor number 25, the music that was played near the beginning of Amadeus. You may recognize it. Fabulous, fabulous symphonies for such a young man to compose. He was something like 18 years old when he composed these. So that's Neville Marriner on Argo. That's an English pressing. I got that for £1. Let's keep going. This one is it's fairly unusual to see this in Great Britain because it's an American pressed Vox, Vivaldi The Four Seasons, and the soloist is Renato Bifoli. As you know, I collect violinists. Shall we say silver violinists, those who are not fetching really mega money like Leonid Kogan. And I enjoy listening to different violinists, so this one caught my eye. This was £1. It is stereo. It's recorded in 1959, which makes it really quite an early stereo for Vox. So that was actually shrink wrapped. I got that shrink wrapped, not sealed, but the jacket in is absolutely superb condition. Yep, an American pressing. Okay, keep going with another great violinist, Nathan Milstein. This is on Classics for Pleasure, Bruch and Mendelssohn, and this is a reissue of the Capitol, which was released, I think, in the late 50s, early 60s, late 50s, 1959, I think, of Milstein. Admittedly past his best, but still playing beautifully. So that is definitely a Classics of Pleasure worth having. If you see that around, definitely pick it up. I paid £2 for that. Okay, this one here, I went into a charity shop and I got this. It's a gatefold, 2 record gatefold. It's beautifully produced. There it is, beautifully produced. These archives, I really like them. They're mostly sort of Baroque music. This one is stereo, 4 overtures with I think it's Carl Richter, and I've listened to one side already. It's a little bit, it needs a clean, but there are no marks on it, so I think I can clean it up and it will sound fine. I went in and the records they said were £1 each. There are 2 in here. I went to the counter. I said, "Oh, there are 2 here. That's £2." The lady says, "Oh, I think they're all just £1 each. I mean, each item is £1. It wasn't per record." I said, "Oh, I don't mind paying £2." She went into the back to check with somebody, and she came back and she says, "No, it's just £1." She rung £1 in before I could say anything. I thought, "Oh well, I'll just pay it." But yeah, so I got that for £1. 2 records. I mean, it's not worth a lot of money. You can pick this up on eBay for about £12. Yeah, so there we are. That's a good one as well. Keep going. Here's a pop record. Olivia Newton-John. Right. Yep, I'm an OANJ fan, and she's covering lots of famous singles on here. And I never usually listen to non-original artists on songs. I like to hear the original artists. But you know, she is such an amazing singer, and I think she sings these, she covers them better than a lot of the original artists do. It's absolutely fabulous to listen to. Yeah, so I'm really pleased with this one. That was £1. And finally, we've got this one, uh, Frederica von Stade. No, actually, we've got another one to come yet. Yeah, on Phillips Mozart arias. I was happy to get that for £1. And finally, we've got this excellent record on Chandos. It's the Borodin Trio playing one of Schubert's great. There are two absolutely magnificent Schubert piano trios. You know, one of the great treasures of chamber music in the history of chamber music. It's D898. It's a marvelous piece of music on two sides, digital Chandos, and I paid £1 for that. So obviously, I was really pleased. Okay, so that's all. That's all for now. Yeah. So yeah, my point about the records and charity shops. One can't blame them for trying to cash in on the vinyl boom, but really, let's be realistic. The vinyl boom is young people going out and spending 25, 30, 35 pounds on brand new records of Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran, etc., etc. It's not on dusty old classical records in charity shops. So I think they've got it wrong there. Okay, thanks for watching. I look forward to your comments. Bye for now.